welcome to Witches of the Moon. I am your Saturday host, Nimbus River, and this week is Pick Your Own Topic Week. So, I'm going to talk about the foundation of my personal practice, which is ancestral veneration. First of all, I'm an animist, so I believe that we all have spirits, everything residing on Earth or on the other side. We're all spiritual beings. I feel like a rock has a spirit. I feel like a door has a spirit. I feel like, even inanimate objects have a spirit and a spiritual imprint on our life. And I believe that spiritual imprint doesn't go away. So when we cross over and we are, we move from this plane of existence to the next, our physical body gives up and our spirit crosses over. I believe that spirit still exists, and therefore it can communicate with the other side, and it can watch over the people that they left behind, and that is essentially the ancestors. So the ancestors for me are not just blood related to me. A lot of them are spiritually connected to me. People who made a big impact on my life but were not necessarily blood related to me. People who have made a big imprint on my craft and my practice or my hobbies or anything that I feel the need to venerate them and honor them and thank them for what they touched and what they brought into my life. Obviously, my genetic ancestors are literally the genetic makeup of me, so I give them thanks as well. And for the love and the connections that they gave to me when they were still living. Some of them I remember very clearly, some of them I don't. Some of my ancestors that I have deeper connections with, I actually gained the connection after they passed away. So, I have a relationship due to the fact that I do ancestral work that I would otherwise never have. So, basically, and this is not, it doesn't have to be a daily thing or a weekly thing, but I will go to my ancestor altar, and this is actually the only altar I have, but that is what that is up there. It is an ancestral veneration altar, and that is where I go in my main place where I call to my ancestors, and I give them thanks, and I thank them for what they continue to do for me every day. I honor them. I have a ceremony of blessings for them, and I go to them to do that regularly. Granted, there are a lot of times where I feel the need to pray. And if I feel the need to pray, then and there, I'll go to the altar, or I'll connect with one of them, at their grave, or on my back porch, or when I'm fishing, or when I'm making cookies that my great-grandma taught me how to make. That is my connection with them, and because I have that connection, I feel I can talk to them, and I feel like I can, feel them in everything that I do, and I'm doing something that they taught me, or a special place that meant something to us. And that is my way of adhering to their spirit, opening myself up to their spirit, and communicating with them, giving them thanks, but also giving them advice. If I need, advice on something, that I always went to, and then they passed away, I still can go to them for advice, and it's amazing. I have a few ways to communicate via divination. Obviously, when I'm talking to them, and they'll give me signs, and each of them have a certain thing that makes me go, thanks, Papa, thanks, Aunt Ruth, thanks to these individual spirits when their spiritual gift is shown to me visually, or just a feeling. But also I use spirit dice, and I actually use oracle cards a lot to get messages from them to me often as well. So it all depends on the situation, but I think that it being the foundation of my practice is really what drives and makes me, the person that I am, and kind of blends everything really well together. I'm a weird one. I'm a little bit, I believe somewhat in the, Abrahamic faiths, and I believe somewhat in the Hindi faiths, and I'm a witch, and I'm a druid, and I am an ancestor venerator, and I also work with, you know, the spirit of a tree in my backyard, and all of these things. Sometimes when someone's looking at me from the outside looking in, they're like, he's a hodgepodge of weird eclecticism that is strange for me. You know, he's a druid, but also a traditional witch, and also an animist, and also an ancestor venerator. And all of these things kind of blend together because my ancestors are all a very blended group of people who formed me and my personality and my beliefs, or helped to form that anyway. And for some reason, they're what holds it all together. That they're the glue that, you know, kind of gets in all the weird crevices of my practice and actually makes it flourish and makes it one solid entity, with different faces and different facets. Just like the ancestors in general are one solid entity, but they all have their own faces and they all have their own spirits that I connect with individually, not just as a group or a whole. So all of these things are kind of what, you know, makes me me and makes my practice what it is. And I think that that's awesome. So my advice to you is to connect to your ancestors if you're not already doing it. You know, what's it going to hurt, you know, to just connect with one of them? Even if you come from just, you know, a family that you don't connect well with, or you didn't feel connected with, you know, you might have a connection with them now. Now that they're crossed over and they don't have maybe the stigma and dogmatic beliefs that maybe put a wedge in between your relationship before. That doesn't exist now. They're a higher being. They have similar personalities, but they see things, I think, a little brighter over there, even though it is, you know, deemed the realm of death and the other world. You know, things don't matter as much when you aren't here on this plane, and so I think it's great. So that would be my suggestion to you. I hope that this topic, and pick my own topic this week, was a good one to kind of roll with. So until next time, put down in the comments, you know, do you work with your ancestors? Do you, you know, ancestrally draw power? Is that a foundation of your practice? If you don't, do you plan to? You know, whatever you want to put in the comments, you go for it. I will try to, you know, continue the conversation as often as I can. So until next time, watch all the videos from this week. They're all excellent, and I think you could learn something from everybody, even myself, if I'm gonna take credit for that. So anyways, until next time, have a great week.